Good evening, everyone. Welcome to No Credentials Required. This is a live edition of No Credentials Required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports. We are presented by Belly Up Sports in association with Godzilla Media here in the 518 area. Just want to remind you before we continue, just want to remind you about our social media channels on Twitter, Instagram, and yes, it's true. We're also on TikTok, No Creds REQ, Facebook.com/No Creds REQ. On YouTube, just search No Credentials Required. If you're watching on YouTube right now, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. That way you know when new uploads or live streams go on the air. And hey, it's also going to be in podcast form, so go ahead and subscribe where you subscribe. Spreaker is our home base, but if you want to check us out, also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, wherever you podcast, any platform is available. If you can also rate and review, 5 stars is preferred, which would be very optimal. Also, leave a review. I might even read it on the air if you leave a review. That way, and also that way, a lot more people will know about this podcast and listen. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring in my panel for tonight. We got a group of gentlemen. We're going to talk football, and maybe some other stuff too. So I'll go ahead and bring in my panel. To my right, we have from White Heat and Katie's Corner, two of our podcasts on Godzilla Media, Brian, Katie. Katie, how are we doing tonight, bud?
Doing well. Do you do any of the TikTok dance trends at all too while you're at it?
No, and you'll never see me. And you'll never see me pod either.
Okay, just want to make sure.
No. And to the bottom left, I have team president of the Albany Empire. No, I'm sorry, back-to-back National Arena League champion, Albany Empire, and co-host of Levac and God's podcast. We've got the Jeff Levac. Levac, how are we doing tonight? How are you holding up from partying this weekend?
I'm very good. Everything is great. I just go back to what Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin always said. I pity anyone who doesn't drink. They feel as good as they're going to feel all day when they wake up. So I feel great. I'm living the dream and still more of like a championship hangover than anything.
All right, and to my bottom, underneath me is from the Captain Lou Extravaganza. We have Lou Gamelin. Lou, how are we doing tonight?
Hey, I'm doing great. Hey, kudos to you. 5 stars to you. You pronounced my last name right. That is rare. Thank you.
If everything else goes wrong in this live stream tonight, at least I know I got that right.
Hey, it's all downhill from there, Lou.
All downhill from here.
You got it. No, this will be fun. Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna dip our toes into some football here. The first thing I want to start out with is controversy or non-troversy. John Calipari, basketball head coach of the University of Kentucky Wildcats, their basketball team. He had some interesting comments about Kentucky's football team, and I don't know if you guys had a chance to check out his comments or not. I'm gonna try. I forgot to bring them up before we went on air, but it said something to the effect of basically why they're trying to steal our thunder. Do you guys? I mean, I'll start with you, Katie. Is it a good thing if a university basketball team disses the football team? Is that good for school morale, or is that just a really bad take?
I mean, any kind of infighting isn't really a good thing. But the thing is, I get the angle Calipari was going for. He's trying to get like a new practice facility for the team. That was basically the motivation or what he was being asked about leading into the quote that caused all the mess that he's got with Stoops. So I kind of understand what he was aiming for. Just super poor execution on John's part, because he's one of those few coaches that things don't necessarily filter up here before they come out. So he's just one of those guys that tells it like it is, for better or for worse, and it's one of those things where the infighting isn't a good look, but I'm sure him and Mark will hash it out, and it'll be a non-issue. It'll be a dead issue pretty much before football season even starts.
Yeah. So apparently this is was in response to the Kentucky Wildcats football team receiving approval to get to renovate their football facility. Which, you know what, I'm okay with that because Kentucky's football's on the up and up right now in the SEC, and especially in the SEC East. They're contenders for that East Division title right now. But this is basically what Calipari had to say, and I'll say this starting with a quote. This is a basketball school. It's always been that. Alabama's a football school. So is Georgia. I mean, they are. No disrespect to our football team. I hope they win 10 games and go to bowls. At the end of the day, that makes my job easier, makes the job of all of us easier. But this is a basketball school, and we need to keep moving in that direction and keep doing what we're doing. End quote. Levac.
What's wrong with what he said? I don't even feel like it was that derogatory. Okay. I mean, like, if he had said, "Why are we wasting money on these like troglodytes or something?" Like if he had like threw some like Bobby the Brain Heenan insults in there or something, I might look at it and go,
"Why waste the good nice facility on those humanoids?"
Yeah, something like that. Maybe I would understand what was going on here, but like, as sports fans, is there a single one of us who, like, when we first think of Kentucky, we go, "Oh man, that quarterback can really spin it"? No, it's usually like, I wonder if Calipari is going to be able to get back to the tournament. I wonder if, how many times, are they going to get caught, tampering and doing something stupid to the basketball team? It's not usually about the football team, but also like old school radio knowledge. Some of the best crossovers are when people think you don't like each other. So like if Godzilla Media, if I talk smack about White Heat, it's not only because it sucks. It's because that gets people to go check it out. And then if I do it perfectly, then Brian has no choice but to say, well, yeah, but Levac and Gaz and the Empire Coaches Show are garbage, or, listen, whatever, something. So somebody will go, all right, let me go look. Like it's showmanship. It's old school showmanship. He's actually doing the football program a favor.
I do want to say that the Empire Coaches Show is perfect the way it is. You and Coach Tom and us are top notch, and
I actually think it's the leading like freaking draw on Godzilla right now, and I'm not even joking. Like I think everyone in the NAL watches it.
No, I would not be surprised. I mean, it's a great it's a great show, and B, you get to see a head coach providing as much candor as possible, especially in this kind of industry of professional football. And last week you were joined by the owner of the Empire, Mike Horta, which brought a lot of spice to the Sea Smoke Grill down in.
He's good for that. Yeah, it was pretty spicy. He gets it going.
I was gonna say, did you put like an NSFW disclaimer on that one for Mike, or?
I don't know how to do that. So no, just run with it. Just go.
Nah, just go with it. Yeah. Just go with it. Captain Lou, just want to get your perspective. What do you think of this? What do you think of those comments?
Well,
Calipari.
I got to tell you, I've never really had much respect for Calipari to begin with. He's always been one step above the law, no matter where he's gone. And whenever he's got to share the spotlight, he's an egomaniac. So it doesn't surprise me. He wants it all on him. And it might help the football program to bring them a little notoriety because he's talking about him. But if he doesn't get his way, and if they're not the number one spotlight, or if he doesn't have it all, then he's going to do his best to get it back. And that's what he's doing, in my opinion. And to you guys' credit, and I agree with you, it will help the football program. But, if he isn't number one, or he doesn't think he's number one, he's going to make it look like it. So I just think he's an egomaniac, and doesn't surprise me.
Well, I'll put it this way: don't get beat by a 15 seed in the NCAA and kill everybody's brackets. Maybe we'll get some respect back. That's why everybody's thinking about football, not basketball, when thinking Kentucky these days.
Yeah.
Well, here's the other funny thing too: is that they just got approval for this. It's not like it's built and it's about to open, and there's going to be this big old ceremony.
Yeah, it was approved 6 months ago.
Whereas down in Gainesville, Florida just opened a brand new $90 million football facility that's just absurdly over the top. No need for all this crap. Do you hear the basketball program complain about that? Do you hear about
No.
their great softball program complain about that, or baseball program? No, because it's good not just for the football team. It's good for all eyeballs to see if they can get people on campus in the end. Because in the end, it's also about admissions and getting money in the door. That's all.
You know,
Yeah.
you know how much Tom Izzo is putting into Michigan State's football program and their facilities? It's millions, and there's no ego there. And so when I look at Calipari, it's just another, to me, he's just, I don't know. Like I said, I've never had much respect for him. He's won, but he's tainted, in my opinion.
But has he ever had recruits? Has he ever gotten strippers for his recruits?
No, they haven't.
Like another coach somewhere in Kentucky?
Touche.
Wow.
Maybe. See, that's the thing with him, though. If he did, it's just we would find out about 3 years after we moved on.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
Great
That's
point.
But here's the fun thing: that coach is now just a couple hours south of us down in Iona. So if we
That's true.
really want to party one night, I'm just saying, figure out what the
None of
baseball
us,
recruits
none
are
of us
going
have
to
the
do as well.
vertical that's going to get him to pay for our strippers.
Yeah.
No, especially me. I have a 2-inch vertical.
No. No.
I am
have
handsome.
I have more of a horizontal than a vertical.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Maybe Captain Luke can whip us into shape.
There you
Oh,
go.
you're looking at the wrong cat there, man. I can jump over a piece of paper. That's about it.
So all right. So this is now a football podcast, and because we don't have to
Yeah.
jump here.
Yeah, this is definitely a football podcast for sure. No, but I mean, it's funny. Certain schools there's a lot of notoriety to. Notre
Yeah.
Dame, you don't think about any other sport except football.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia, Alabama, no other sport but football. When I think Michigan State, I immediately think basketball for Michigan State.
Right.
Yeah, but Michigan State's almost a hybrid. It's like both, because it was football
That's
for
true.
the longest time. Now basketball's a little bigger. Football started to slowly, get a little bit back. Michigan itself is football, but when the Fab Five were there, it was basketball, and you can tell the basketball fans kind of with Jones to have a chance to take back over. There's schools that can do both. Kentucky historically is not one of those schools,
Right.
So there's two ways I look at it. There's a chance Calipari's trying to do the right thing by doing the wrong thing, because I agree with you, Lou. He's an egotistical, bleep. But there's also a chance he's looking at that money and going, new hardwood would be beautiful.
No.
But there is always that symbiotic relationship in college sports. Some sports bring in more revenue than others. I mean, think about University of North Dakota. What brings money in for their athletics department? Ice hockey.
Ross.
Hockey. Ice hockey. Their ice hockey program is renowned. They've got multiple NCAA titles, and that program brings in money for that school.
Yeah, but there's like Kentucky basketball. What's the old saying? High tides rise all ships. Kentucky basketball is a heavy ship that rises all tides. Like it doesn't need any other program. Like it could just they're almost like a pro basketball team. Actually, there's a good chance they're actually a pro basketball team. And
With NIL
kids are making the most money
now,
in the league.
you come on,
Right.
with NIL, anything's
Yeah,
possible.
Right. And now I just have to try a little bit. I don't even have to really hide it anymore. I never have to worry about Marcus Camby stuff again. But it does its own thing. And I honestly think there's a chance that he realistically did this just to make you talk more football, because he's good. He doesn't have to worry about it. And if you're talking about football and is he greedy, you're not talking about him losing to a 15 seed.
Yeah.
By the way, 15 seed from Jersey City, New Jersey. I got to add, as someone who was born in New Jersey, it's my cross to bear in life.
Explains so much.
I know, explains so much. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, I think this is a non-troversy in my eyes. It looks like a controversy because it puts eyes on things. I mean, puts a bigger spotlight on Kentucky football, but it could turn out pretty well for the football program. I mean, they're an SEC. They're in an SEC that's going to get bigger.
Yeah. Oh.
Within 3 years, they're going to have two more teams in the conference. It's going to be one big happy family with Oklahoma and Texas joining them.
Mm-hmm.
and with the talk of a super conference, so with no NCAA oversight, this could get bigger.
Agreed.
So,
and if you're Kentucky, that football program, what are you, relevant a year or two tops, and then back into squalor for 5 or 6, and then maybe relevant again, and so just be happy they spelled your name right. I guess is where I'd be.
I think with a guy like whose name was Mark Stoops being the head coach of the team, he's gonna draw in recruits. I mean, that last name alone, Stoops.
But there's still that guy. What's it, Saban? I've heard of him. I think he's kind of a big. Like, there's still bigger deals
Papa
out there than Stoops. Yeah, there's. It's. I don't know. It's such a weird thing. Like, I just think locally, right? So UAlbany is a basketball school that has a rising football program.
Yes.
Siena is a basketball school that got rid of their football program. They didn't even.
They've been in football in about 20 years.
Right. So it's like you see UAlbany's more of that symbiotic relationship, but at the same time, knowing coaches on both programs, they're not like arm in arm skipping down the concourse going to the gyms and stuff. It's like, are you in my way? Okay, you're not in my way, then you're okay. Like, don't get in my way and you're okay. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the NFL preseason. I mean, if you watch this weekend, Levac, I know you had a pretty busy weekend, doing other stuff with your football team. But I don't know if you had a chance to catch
The Raiders
anything.
were on Sunday, baby.
The Raiders were on Sunday. Oh, we got a take from our buddy Kev with Belly Up Sports. Calipari should probably focus on winning a championship for the first time in a decade, rather than comment on Kentucky football. And Kev from who is from the Tailgates on the Quad podcast, knows a lot of college football. Check out his podcast. He's an Alabama alum that's one of the first. I mean, he's like, what's the joke? How do you know a person? How do you know someone's an atheist, a CrossFitter, or a vegan? It's the first thing they tell you when they meet you. Same with Alabama alum. Roll Tide.
See, here's a quick comment on that. Here's the innate problem with Kev's logic, though, is that what Calipari was a step ahead of everyone on a decade ago is what every big program's doing now. I mean, even to the point where Coach K started embracing one and dones during the last few years of his career. So because you have more programs like a Kansas, a UNC, a Duke, Arizona, because those coaches and programs are embracing one and dones a lot more than they were when Cal first got to Kentucky, that makes that a lot harder. So Kentucky running roughshod. I mean, even like look at Bruce Pearl down in Auburn. Like he might start bringing in one and dones too. So it's a lot harder than it looks at this point than it was, say, 10, 15 years ago for Calipari.
Yeah. And with the transfer portal being what it is,
mess.
that you can go anywhere you want you can go to 4 schools all 4 years in college. Great.
It's a mess. Absolute mess.
100%.
That oversight definitely needs to be looked at and looked into for sure. But no, that's just me. Oh, and we got a comment from Kev. All I'm hearing is Calipari can't adapt.
Yeah, but let's not forget he was asked a question. Like he answered. It's not like somebody went, "Hey, Cal, how's the weather?" And he went, "You know what? We're a freaking basketball school. It was. What do you think of the thing?" He's like, "Well, we're a basketball school. I think we should focus on that."
You're right. I agree with you. You're right. He was asked the question, and that's the only way he knows how to answer it. And
yep. So
I don't hate on him for that. I just don't like him. But I mean, well, you're right. How's he supposed to answer it? That's just him.
Yeah. Also, a big shout out to Brian Snow, Snowman in the Morning, Cole Johnson. I was on his program this morning at 8:35. McCoffee, thanks for the shout out. Appreciate you, Mr. Snow. All right. NFL preseason. I'd say two things that happened that were pretty, I would say, significant. One of them being the injury to Zach Wilson. I'll go ahead, and if you haven't seen it, I'll show it right now. I'll just disclose free and fair use, yada, 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 so I don't get struck.
Trying to go man-to-man on Moore. It's tough duty for anybody trying to go man-to-man on Jordan Davis.
Man in motion is C.J. Uzomah, the tight end for New York. And on first down, avoiding the rush, Wilson, wow. He could have elected for the sideline, but instead he dives ahead near midfield. Give him a gain of 7.
The dreaded non-contact injury.
The non-contact injury. That sucks. But a lot of the Twitter doctors that were on social media was saying it's torn ACL, it's torn ACL, it's torn ACL, yada yada yada. Turns out he passed the ACL test that night, and he was initially diagnosed with a torn meniscus and bone bruise. I've had a bone bruise in my knee. It's not fun. But he's headed for surgery. He's going to get looked at. Hopefully just gets a scope. He'll be back in 2 to 4 weeks. Right now, Joe Flacco is a starting QB, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But I want to hand it to you guys. Katie, I see kind of a smirk on your face there. What does this injury do anything for the Jets? This at least for the first couple of games this year, or is this nothing really to worry about?
I mean, because he tripped over the imaginary line on, like, a la Daniel Jones not too long ago, he might want to consider not doing so much running around for the first couple of games just to, make sure he's okay. But in the grand scheme of the season, it doesn't mean a whole hell of a lot. For the first couple games he's back while he gets comfortable again, yeah, it's going to mean something. Maybe to a point where you kind of go a little reserved with him in that, you tell him not to scramble as much, which I know cuts down his playmaking abilities, but you got to tell him to cut it down a little bit. Or B, maybe if he's starting a game, say week 1 or week 2, and you see there's no real legitimate shot of you winning by, say, mid-third quarter, just pull him and save his legs and put Flacco in for the last quarter and a half. That's the way I would look at it. But again, long term, not a big deal. Short term, he just has to adjust for the first couple games he's back.
My problem with this play is that he had a rookie right tackle starting with Mekhi Becton's perpetually injured lower body, no matter where it is. He had a rookie starting at right tackle. And
why did Saleh have him in there then?
Have Wilson in there or have the rookie?
Yeah, no, Wilson.
Probably for reps.
Okay.
Just because he's a starting quarterback on this offense. So, you got to give him some rest. Usually preseason, it's a couple series for the first game, at least for a couple series and you're out.
Right.
I mean, for a guy who's in his second year, those reps are huge, especially since he missed a couple of games last year. Those reps are pretty significant. But it seems like with having an experienced quarterback like Joe Flacco, who, his elite status is kind of questionable. Is he still elite? We don't know. But at least having a veteran quarterback like him to back you up, and I guess he's having a heck of a camp too. It's not necessarily a bad thing for at least the first 2 games of the year if he's going to be playing the first 2 games of the year.
But camp non-contact drills are a little different than actual game time. So I don't know.
Sometimes I wonder, like, Lou, you and me, we're I think we're kind of cut from the same cloth on a lot of this stuff where it's like, if you're going to put the guy out there, put him out there all the way. If you're not going to put him out there, don't put him out there at all. But like, I look at a young guy like this who last year all we talked about was he shows glimmers, but he needs to be bigger. He does this, but he needs to do that. I can't help but wonder if these injuries are because this kid was told he's going to put on, 10, 15 pounds of muscle in one offseason and push himself harder than he probably should to get out there right away anyway. Maybe a little time, if it is just a scope, a little time to rest after God knows what he's done to himself in this offseason, not the worst thing that could happen to him.
I understand that you need the reps and all that, but it's like, I don't know. I've listened to a lot of coaches and in the preseasons, and I don't know if they practice together before this game. I think they don't start that till like the second or third week.
Joint practices are this week.
Okay. Because every coach that I've watched in interviews say that those practices, a lot of times they get more out of those than they get out of the preseason game for the starters. So I don't know. Ryan, I don't disagree with you that he needs reps. in this situation with two rookie tackles, or a rookie tackle and a guy that they just got in the system, I was shocked that he played. I thought maybe once they got their feet wet, if you will, maybe put him in this coming weekend. But it's easy for me to say that now. Hindsight's 2020. So I don't know. That's the only reason why I asked that question.
No, I understand. I mean, Zach Wilson did put on some pounds in the offseason. He was doing that because of his durability. This was just a freak thing that just happened. I mean, I myself, as a Jets fan, I was in a glass case of emotion for about a good 15, 16 hours. So,
dude, you're about as snake bit as us Lion fans, man.
But right, I mean, this team's putting their hopes for the future offense on Wilson's shoulders.
Yeah.
Well, now it's his knees, but I kind of think I had to
Not for
wonder.
2 to 4 weeks, it isn't.
Yeah. Exactly. But I kind of have to wonder, because that was the knee. I think that was the knee was hurt last year when Matt Judon rolled on it during that first Patriots game. And did not receive a penalty, by the way, FYI. Still a little sour over that, but I kind of wonder if he's still kind of feeling the effects of that hit. And we went to cut instead of and the first thing that's the one thing that killed me was that instead of sliding or running out of bounds like a normal quarterback would do, you try to make a move, try to make a Superman move, and try to juke out the defender who's coming at him. And I kind of wondered in the back of the head is Mike LaFleur, his offensive coordinator, tell him get out of bounds or slide. Don't try to be the hero. Just get some yards and get a first down and live to play another play.
So something he'll learn from experience, especially with this now. Like you said, he's just a second-year guy. And there is a lot of pressure on him. You can't help but look and see what happened with Sam Darnold. He was a failure in New York. So I don't know.
I had hopes for Darnold. I thought he was doing. I thought he could have been something special in New York. The problem was his GM, Mike McCagnon, was concentrating solely on building a defense for Todd Bowles. He was not concentrating on offense, and if he got offensive players, it would be in the later rounds. He wouldn't pick an offensive guy until the 3rd round, 4th round, 5th round, and it would just be. I mean, Robbie Anderson was a number 1 receiver when he should have been a number 3 or number 4 somewhere else.
Well, the good news is Darnold's available.
Yeah.
Connor Hughes tweeted the exact same thing, trying to be humorous. He did. He was trying to be funny and just to lighten up spirits, and Jets fans ratioed him. Absolutely ratioed him.
And different GM. There's some offensive talent out there now. I mean, maybe there's no ghosts. Have a little exorcist. It'll be great. We lost Ryan. Ryan's swearing about me in his head right now.
No, I'm getting an update from my sister. I have a parent who just got discharged from the hospital, so we're just concentrating on that. It was bound to happen, but
Well, let me ask this question, because you're bringing up quarterbacks from other teams. Hypothetically, if Robert Saleh's like, you know what, screw this Joe Flacco thing, we need to get somebody else. Who would you prefer, Sam Darnold or any quarterback from the Steelers right now?
Ooh.
Wow.
Not including Kenny Pickett. Let's not include Kenny Pickett because he seems like the de facto number 1 right now. So Mason Rudolph or Sam Darnold?
Rudolph or Mitch Trubisky?
Yeah.
I'd take Trubisky in a heartbeat as a backup.
Is throwing myself off a ledge an option here? Or
I was about to say, don't get tricked by what Trubisky did in garbage time for the Bills last year. Do not let that trick you.
There's also a guy that Big Game Bob Saleh's pretty familiar with. Jimmy G's out there.
Wow.
I'm not completely sold that Trey Lance is the one yet.
Well, I mean that was an option. That in the back of my head, that was an option. I said to myself, Jimmy Garoppolo is an option. The Jets still have a little bit of cap space if they can split the cap space somehow with the 49ers. He's already familiar with this system. They're playing the exact same zone block read system in in New York as they are in San Francisco. That's what Mike LaFleur brought with him, and Robert Saleh brought with them when they came from San Francisco. He's already familiar with the system.
But the innate problem with that is now you're setting up Jimmy G to go into the same exact kind of situation he's going through right now with Trey Lance. Plus, if you put Jimmy G in, and let's say hypothetically he plays really well those first couple regular season games, if they're not using Zach Wilson, now you're setting Zach Wilson up for failure, much like you already did to Sam Darnold before he became a Carolina Panther. So it's a lose-lose situation if you go with Jimmy G. Your best option at this point is either stick with Flacco or you go for some low-hanging fruit on another team like a Darnold or a Trubisky or a Mason Rudolph.
Well, don't forget they also have Mike White.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I'd stick with Flacco. I mean, look at what we got in Detroit. We got David Blau and Tim Boyle. I would take Flacco in a heartbeat over those two bird brains. I mean,
not if Jared Goff.
If Goff goes down, we're screwed.
Do you want Geno Smith back from Seattle?
There you go.
Who I appreciate taking all those games as the for the Seahawks last year that gave the Jets the 10th overall pick. Awesome. Thanks a lot. Appreciate you, Gino.
It's an option. Just saying.
I had a lot of heartburn and indigestion from those pick sixes that he threw. I don't know if I can go through that
Drew
again.
Lock then. Let's make Gino the starter in Seattle. Give me Drew Lock.
Boy.
Hey, Drew Lock can he can bust out those rap lyrics, man, on the sideline. At least he knows the music before.
Yeah, rapping doesn't help you throw 60-yard bombs down the field.
That's true. But I don't think he needs to go deep in that kind of system. But
no.
Anyway, moving on. So we got to play this clip from the Buffalo Bills game this past Saturday too. Rookie punter Matt Ariaza. Let's just say he was doing the same kind of things he was doing in college.
See him up to their neck in trouble and see how they get out of it as well.
Rookie punter out of San Diego State, a 6th-round draft pick, his first punt today. And it's a big one. Wow, look at this to the 15, and it's a touchback. I mean,
there's an 82-yard punt. An 82-yard punt, net 62, out to the 20, and I think you found your punter.
He had 2 punts last year of 80-plus yards and another one here in his first punt as a member of the Bills.
I chased a lot of punts in my day. I never chased an 82-yarder.
We asked Brandon Bean yesterday, how do you get a gauge on how this kid might be in the cold weather, in the wind? And
yeah.
For the
I know it's the preseason, but 82-yard punt is pretty dang.
If they don't win this year, it's just not going to happen. I mean, they've got everything.
He's just one more weapon in that for that team. I mean, they're already pretty dang loaded as it is.
Ugh.
I can't seem to. I mean, if I ask a Bills fan, I'll ask any football fan. I can't seem to find a weakness on that team.
No,
I think it's Bills fans. I think it's
we don't have enough tables for them.
Right. There's only one Josh Allen. Actually, no, I'm sorry. The defensive end down in Jacksonville. I don't know. I don't know if you can put a better roster together than what they have right now.
I agree. There's a reason why their over under is 12 or 12 and a half. I mean, that's so dang high. Wow.
Yeah, and with getting Von Miller as there, I mean, that's the one thing that the Bills kind of lacked last year was a pass rusher, was a true pass rusher, and they broke the bank for Von Miller. And if there's no Super Bowl by the time his contract ends, it's a huge disappointment.
Yeah,
I think McDermott and Bean are that's a duo that has it figured out. Like when we used to cover the Bills camp, we go once a year. Allen's rookie year. I called it football 101. They made him break the huddle, get back in the huddle, break the huddle, get back over and over. And every time it didn't go line up the way they were supposed to, they ran, they did push-ups. The next year it was trying to get him to keep his eyes downfield and not run. So now you got 2 guys out there with big foam pads. And every time Josh Allen looked down or looked away from like he was going to run, these dudes start whapping at him with the foam pads. Like they know how to develop players. They know they're patient. They've got good head on their shoulder, and then they go find a punter who can, if he learns how to coffin corner this thing, forget about it.
They're scary good. The only thing if they have a weakness, I don't know, is it their running game? But how can you call it a weakness? I mean, I think they've got a good tandem of running backs there.
Josh Allen is their running game.
Well, true.
In a way.
They picked up a little bit towards the end of the year, though.
Yeah. No.
I look at this team, and there's only one thing that I'd say is even kind of a weakness, and that's their offensive line. Because we saw games last year where that offensive line became very turnstile-y, and Josh Allen was getting hit a little too much. And those are the games where they were either lost or they had to come from behind and win at the last minute. That's really the only position where they might still be a little bit on the weak side. And other than that, it's just they need to keep their secondary healthy. Like they just have to hope that Micah Hyde and Tre'Davious White, like they all stay off the IL because
their linebackers too.
Yeah,
they had some injury troubles last year in the linebacker.
That whole defensive back seven needs to stay healthy, and if that happens, then I mean, good luck to the Pats, Dolphins, and Jets having to face them 6 times this year. Like,
I've already had the Jets going 0 for this year against the Bills, so I'm not. Yeah,
I mean, I don't think they're going to be alone in the AFC East doing that. So
yeah,
no, we got them on Thanksgiving. That's man. I hope the turkey's good.
Well, the good part is at least Detroit's the 12:30 game, so you can go ahead and just fall asleep after that, and you can dream away the game that happened afterwards.
Yeah, your meal will be ready by halftime. After that, you can just take a nap and not watch the rest of the game.
Well, it's funny is we're already talking about going because I live about an hour and a half away from Detroit, and my daughter-in-law and her husband are hosting Thanksgiving dinner, and they live about 45 minutes away. So we're thinking, we can go to the game and get back in time for dinner. But if it's going to be as bad as I think it might be, we'll be there in time to cook the sweet potatoes probably.
Oh, so Lou, I got to ask you, can I have your unfiltered thoughts on Matt Patricia, please?
I'll keep it clean. What a tool. And, and it's so funny because now he's the offensive coordinator in New England, or that's his title.
I put those in air quotes. He's the offensive coordinator.
Exactly. Here's a guy, he came in. You know what he reminded me of is when Charlie Weiss came to Notre Dame and wore his Super Bowl rings there. And those guys were like, who gives a, well, you know what? He came in there and he stood on that pedestal, and first thing he was complaining about was somebody's posture in the reporter corps, and it's like, and nobody, he set us back 5 years at least, and it's just, what a buffoon. He made Wayne Fonts look like Einstein.
Wow.
Yeah.
Captain, I'm going to say this to give you a little bit of hope. I feel like going forward, I think Coach Campbell is the right man for that team right now.
Dan Campbell. I love Dan.
He's definitely the right man for Hard Knocks.
In a platonic fashion. Just FYI.
I'm going to say this right now. For this season, they will not finish last in the division. That's going to be the Bears.
I think so.
Chicago finishes last. They're making good moves. They brought in Jameson Williams. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown's a chance to improve from there. There's decisions being made that are intelligent and not just complete buffoonery kind of decisions like they were making in drafts 15, 20 years ago with the Joey Harringtons and all that. They're making smart decisions there. And then I say in 3 to 5 years, you could be a potential playoff team coming out of that division because Aaron Rodgers ain't going to live forever as a quarterback in that division.
No.
Kirk Cousins is up there. He's not going to live forever in Minnesota. They have no backup plan there. There's an opening there come 3 years from now.
Well, my biggest concern, I think I'm not worried about the offense scoring points. My biggest issue is the defense. Their linebacking core to me is really bad. And it was exposed again in the preseason game against Atlanta. When the first stringers went right down and scored, Mariota marched them right down. And that's been the weakness for a few years now. And the defensive backfield, we got Okuda, first round pick or whatever. He's been hurt. We're going to score points, but the biggest thing is, he is changing the culture. They just got to learn how to win. All those games last year, that 66-yard field goal that Tucker hit off the crossbar. I mean, it's we're a couple years away, but to get back to Patricia, oh my God. Yeah. Those two guys came in, they thought all they had to do was show up and they were going to win 11 games. And obviously it didn't work. And, hasta la vista, man. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out.
The thing that probably kills the Fords is that they got to still pay the guy in the 3 years remaining on his contract.
They've been doing that for so many years. And
so the Johnsons.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I was going to talk to you Wednesday when you come on my podcast is, you talk about the tale of two snake bit franchises. I mean, at least you guys get to the playoffs and win a couple of games once in a couple of decades. I mean, we've had one playoff victory in my lifetime. I've been watching the Lions since 1970, and we've had one playoff win. And I was against Dallas. It's rough, man. It really is. Yeah. But I'm going to be right there against the Eagles first game. Lions are going to win by touchdown, baby. There you go.
See, Lou, you're a loyal fan. That's good. Unlike the person above me in this block who burned one of his jerseys in the parking lot of the radio station we worked at and started rooting for their direct opponent. I respect that about you, Lou.
It wasn't me. I wasn't
above.
Oh, okay. I wasn't an intern cage though.
Yeah, we did put you in the intern cage. That did happen.
Yeah, I was in the intern cage. Despite all my rage, I'm still an intern in a cage.
Yeah, you kept biting people, and we just couldn't have that anymore.
I was the wild child. What can I say? The 42-year-old wild child of the station.
I like that.
So we're going to move on to our next topic in just a moment. Before I do that, I just want to give you a quick reminder about one of our affiliates here at No Credentials Required. It's intheclutch.com. They sell great t-shirts, great apparel, MLBPA licensed apparel, MLSPA licensed apparel, basketball, football, hockey, vintage stuff, whatever you're fancy. Get yourself some really good quality t-shirts made by really great artists. It's a great company. I'm going to get myself, before I leave on vacation, the Zach Wilson Word to Your Moms, I Came to Drop Bombs t-shirt. Yes, that's an actual t-shirt. I'm going to wear it on the beach in North Carolina. It's going to be awesome. But if you go to this website down here, intheclutch.com/nocreds, you enter nocreds at checkout, you get yourself 10% off the order, and you support the show. And you also get a really, really great t-shirt, great apparel. So we're moving on to some local news here in Albany. The Albany, this team, this Albany Empire team, they decided they went back to back on Saturday night, and I was there at the MVP Arena. We have the Executive of the Year in the National Arena League, Jeff Levac, got his football. Look at that. That's a beautiful. That's sweet. Yeah, that's right there. It's a beautiful thing. But Brian, I don't know if you got a chance to watch the game or not. Did you get a chance to watch the game or nah?
I mean, it was two of my favorite people, Tim Drawbridge and Tom Kozlowski. So
come on.
Of course.
I still haven't seen the game. God's honest truth.
I watched the replay yesterday. I watched the replay yesterday. I watched my two favorite guys, Todd McCloskey and
wow.
My goal is
Jim Northridge.
To watch it today, but like we were doing exit interviews and it's just there was no time. But it was the 36 seconds I saw of the game when not, meeting the two new teams joining the league and hanging out with the commissioner and running games and doing stuff. It was really exciting. The fans seem very into it. I can't wait for my chance to watch it. That's my goal for tomorrow. I was gonna watch it tonight, but then my computer kept banging and I had to come here. And now it looks like he left us, guys. So it's our show now. We do what we want.
Nope,
he's back. Never mind. Dang it.
I didn't want to see my backside while I didn't want to see my backside while I was getting some.
I'm the captain now.
I am the captain. Look at me. I'm the captain now.
I mean, I'm just gonna put this out there quick. I need to get to the Empire next year.
You haven't been to a game yet?
Live, no.
Ooh,
And
bad fan.
Yes, bad fan. Yep, I'll take ownership.
Well, you're also busy with the you're also busy with the Amsterdam Mohawks.
My June and July
league champion, by the way.
Correct. The Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League champion Amsterdam Mohawks. Best record in franchise history. Yes, that's them. Yeah, I mean they clog up. They clog. Yeah, no big deal. Relief pitcher of the year, coach of the year. No big deal.
Oh, okay. Well, let's talk about your thing. It says Albany Empire. Go back to back on the screen.
I'm coming back to it.
So we'll talk about your thing. Lou, you want to talk about your collection? I mean, come on, Ryan. How's that? How's those blinds?
All I've got is a picture of the captain. I ain't got anything. So no, but like, I mean, obviously my June and July is pretty cramped up with that. But I mean, like, the Empire season starts in what? April, right? Usually April and May is the first 2 months of the season.
Yeah, April, and it might even be earlier this year because now we're adding 2 teams. So
right, so it's just. It's just one of those things where I've been.
Don't put yourself out, Brian. It's okay. We don't need.
No, I've been very remiss. Plus, I
don't need friends.
Plus, D Scott does some pregame DJing, so I should come down and see my friends, say hello.
So let me get this straight. You didn't see us win the 2021 championship.
I did not see you win that one live.
I was there. I was there too. I was there for that one.
Did you maybe? Oh no, this is just a game ball. Sorry. Let me see. Did you win? Oh wait, were you there when we won the 2022 championship? No. All right,
that's a nice ball.
You're a crappy friend, Brian. Ryan, you're good.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not. You will be though. Oh, you will be.
You will be.
Yeah. I'm sorry that you're doing.
Not to trade for Darren Waller with a 12th round pick again.
Poor Captain Lou's just sitting there with a box of popcorn.
No.
Watching the internal fighting
of play-by-play for some like competitive t-ball team, and he won't come see my football team win another championship. I've got 3 rings, buddy. Come on now.
3-ring Levac. 3 rings Levac.
That's right. I'm a 3-ring. I remember people call me a clown. I might as well have a 3-ring circus.
Actually, I might have some music for that. Hang on.
Well, I mean, you are a certified clown technically, right?
I am. No, I'm not technically. I am.
Yeah. No, but like, it's a shame. It's a shame on my part though, because I still say to this day the best arena sports atmosphere I ever experienced was the Arena Bowl with the Predators and the Firebirds. And for whatever reason,
I was there for that. I was there for that too.
For whatever reason,
I have been to every Albany championship football game for indoor or arena football.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I just haven't made it out to see the Empire yet. I went to one Conquest game back in the day, and I looked around and I was like, "Gee, I could get more people in my apartment than this." What is this show?
Was that from 2005 to 2009?
Whatever incarnation was drawing flies. I don't remember which.
Well, I was there for 2002, 2003. That's when the team was good.
No, this was.
And after Pete Costanza and Ryan Venna left, it was all over.
Yeah, it was post Ryan. I remember.
Do you want to hear some interesting trivia that ties the Conquest into what we're doing?
Go ahead.
So, the Conquests were supposed to be the Albany Warbirds, but then September 11th happened, so they became the Conquest. There it is, right there. That's exactly.
I got the helmet. I've got the replica mini helmet.
Wow.
Now joining
is that
the
a
league,
1 of 1?
Now joining
this
the league
is one of several, but no.
The West Texas Warbirds.
I was going to bring that up, but Levac beat me. But yeah, this is the
executive of the year stuff right there.
It's design. This was the original design, original helmet. And on September 11th, 2001, they were supposed to reveal the name and colors, and obviously that did not happen. Yeah, it was quite a thing. Captain Lou, since we're on the subject of indoor football and arena football, have you been to an indoor football game at all? I know.
Oh man, I was waiting for the cue.
Yeah. Okay. So I remember the Detroit Drive and the Detroit Rush.
Detroit Drive. Yeah, we used to drive down. no pun intended. And I took my son to watch the Grand Rapids Mustangs. I think they
Yeah,
were
the Mustangs.
Rampage.
Yeah.
The Rampage.
Oh,
No,
was
the
it
Grand
Rampage?
Rapids Rampage.
Rampage. It was
The
the
Milwaukee Mustangs.
Yes, right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And I got to tell you, the drive games were a hoot, to go to. And George LaFrance was the man back then.
George LaFrance. Yep. I
Did-
remember him.
And wasn't the Gambler quarterback for a while, Art Schlichter?
Art Schlichter was the quarterback for the Detroit Drive. Yeah. Now he's in federal prison for
He's
gambling.
playing the Mean Machine.
Ryan doesn't know anything at all about indoor football. Not at all.
No, I know absolutely nothing. No,
No.
don't ask me questions.
No, I love arena football. Yeah, I think it's fascinating. It'd be worth a road trip coming next year to watch you guys.
That'd be awesome.
Well,
Go
actually,
for the pre-season.
interestingly enough, the Detroit Drive versus Albany Firebirds was my first ever live
Okay.
arena football game when it was the Knickerbocker Arena, not the MVP Arena.
Okay.
That's
Ryan
like
knows so much
incantations
about-
a while ago.
Ryan knows so much about arena football that when I was just a media member back in 2019 and they asked me to help vote for like the first, second team and all the awards, I literally just had Ryan fill it out for me. I was like, here's the three I want. And I was like, Ryan,
I'm here in my office at work, and I get a text from Levac. Hey, you got to help me with this. I'm like,
Right.
okay, what's
and
up?
everybody's like, wow, you really did it. Like a lot of great work in here. I'm like, yeah, I really worked hard on it. I did.
It's kind of like that FanDuel commercial right now where the guy hits the first inning, the top of the first inning bet. Lisa Koenig comes in and goes, "Hey, great job. You won. What are you going to do now with the rest of the game? It's the first inning." He's like, "I put in a lot of hard work." And she's like, "Watching baseball?" He's like, yeah. That's kind of what.
I didn't even last. I just went, Ryan, help.
Yep, exactly. That was a conversation. Help me.
Well, yeah, because
First
when
team
he's a
quarterback.
former-
All right, Tommy Grady. First team running back.
Michael Boom Boom Benson.
Boom Boom Benson.
Wow.
Wide receiver Malachi Jones. Second wide receiver Darius
Quinn
Prince.
Sims.
Quinn Sims. Yeah.
Real quick, by the way, speaking of Darius Prince, was there actually going to be a throwdown if Darius Prince didn't get the award he got?
I don't think it would have been pretty. I mean, our guys were pretty offended at some of the choices that were out there as is.
For the first team, right?
Well, first team and then, defensive player of the year could have went a couple different ways, and Iron Man could have went a couple different ways, and
that's why they went out and won by 30 and make an example out of Carolina.
Well, and that's what it comes down to is
Exactly.
our guys. We're the number one seed, and at the the individual awards banquet, we left with MVP and executive of the year. And San Antonio, who was second to last seed, left with every other award. It felt like. So yeah, no, it probably did save some issues for us to be able to get and very deservedly so for Darius to get his award.
Right. But no, it had to be like, oh, we're the first seed and you gave us billboard material? Say no more. We got this.
Right. Oh my
best
God.
kind of
I was
material
shocked
is
Haig didn't
billboard
end up in handcuffs. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my gosh. I wouldn't be surprised. The Incredible Haig being.
You like that one, huh?
Oh yeah.
The best
Well, it's funny.
is Castronova and Haig are friends now. So I'll be like, Supernova and the Incredible Haig. It's the greatest crossover comic ever.
Oh man. No, it's funny. I watched the replay yesterday, and Nick and the Incredible Haig was given the chance to speak to the crowd after the game. I'm like, I texted guys. I go, Nick Haig should be a pro wrestler after his football career's done. That was a heck of a promo.
Oh, he is a pro wrestler. I don't think he can pull a punch. I think that's what the problem is.
No, that's true. He's got to be strong. He's got to do strong style for sure.
No, it's okay. When I book him
Or
for
stiff.
the indie wrestling company I'm helping reopen, I'll make sure when we book him, he's punching me and no one else. That way I take the tough potato, not anybody else.
You couldn't take a hit from my kid.
Oh, please. I've taken punches before at wrestling shows.
My
like real
daughter
punches.
hit you so hard, I thought you were going to cry.
When the hell did that happen?
Well, remember forever ago you were over here and she just kept beating up Katie. It was awesome.
Oh, please. I have kids beating up with bats all the time. You think this is new to me? I have a niece and nephew who love taking bats to me for no good reason. It's like, what the hell? What did I do to you? What did I do to you?
You were there. You existed.
Yeah, my existence brings out the need to use a baseball bat on me. Apparently,
Lou is wondering why he allowed us to bring him into this. That's exactly
No, hey, it's all good. I learn something new every day, man.
Hey, welcome to the Nut House. Is the capital region there, Lou?
No, it's all good. It's all
Pretty bad.
good.
it doesn't help that I'm shaped like a human pinata. Maybe that's a reason. I don't know.
Get the piñata.
But I do know that I got a split here in a couple minutes. So I gotta get up
Yeah.
at 3:30 for work in the morning. So
Oh. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll end things with a little bit of a moment of catharsis. So, if you want, if you have the option to give, you have a minute or so, you have 30 seconds to a minute to
Okay.
get something sports related off your chest. I'll give you a moment of that catharsis. So, Captain Lou, I'll let you go. I'll let you lead off for this one. What's one sports take that's been on your chest over the last day or two that you just need to get out?
Well, I'll tell you, it's my Detroit Tigers. I know it's not football related,
That's
but
okay.
we fired Al Avila, or they fired Al Avila about a week and a half ago, and it looks like it's going to be another 5 to 7 years of last place, 100 lost seasons. And you talk about being a masochist Lions fan. I'm a masochist Tigers fan. We went to the World Series a couple of times in the last 16 years, but it's time for the Ilitch family to let it go. And it's just, we had one of the best right-handed hitters of all time. We had a pitching staff of 4 Cy Young winners that couldn't get a World Series for us, and now we're worse than the Mud Hens. And it's tough to watch. And just, come on, football is all I can say.
Yeah. All right, Levac, I give you your moment for catharsis here.
I think this is the thing I've learned that annoys me the most as of late, and it's this over fascination with attendance. Look, obviously the Empire is rebuilding our fan base. The Albany fan has been burnt before, and they're afraid to love again. But I just see these like other markets like Jacksonville after we smoke them, and Carolina after we smoke them, and Orlando. Everybody we just slap the hell out of. Sit there and go, only 5,000 fans, only that. Like all of a sudden, that's the number that matters. The number that matters is 47 to 20, and the other number that matters is whoever was in our building this last Saturday night is way more than who was in yours, because we were the number 1 seed and we won another title. I don't like to be the arrogant jerk. It's fun to play the game, but they've asked for it this time. They've rattled the cage. When I get these guys who are just like, yeah, but you only had. Well, how many people were in the jungle? How many people were in the snake pit? How many people were at the Shark Tank? You're damn right, Katie. 0. So
how many people were at the corral?
Yeah, none of them. And by the way, it'll be the same thing next year for the championship game when we win another one. So worry about winning. I'll worry about selling tickets, and that's that.
All right. Well said. Brian, Katie, over to you.
I'm going to make it very quick about 2 things. Number 1, the Yankee fans are freaking out over losing 7 out of 8 or whatever it was, and just having a bad time since the All-Star break. Shut up. Pretty please. And don't come to me because Joey Gallo happens to have hit a few home runs in the last week for the LA Dodgers. Shut.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow. He's so mad he froze.
He dropped the mic.
he dropped the camera too.
162 games is a marathon. Let's not focus on a 10-team.
Oh boy.
I'm here. All right.
That's another dimension. It was everywhere.
Yeah. I don't know what that was.
It was Helter Skelter.
I don't know what that was.
The internet's a Yankees fan, and it doesn't appreciate your crap.
The internet loves Joey Gallo too.
It's a Blair Witch project.
All right.
So that's the quick number 1. Yankees fans chill out. Number 2, just bring Brittany Griner home. Let's get this crap over with. Bring Brittany Griner home. Thank you. Just
not for an arms dealer with the last name Butt as one of his aliases. Please. Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
So my moment of catharsis here is going to be directed at the National Arena League. Levac, love the Empire. Love what you've done with the Empire. Love what Mike Cord has done with the Empire. Tom and Us. Love what you guys have done here locally. But I have to ask, why isn't their expansion closer to Albany? Albany has to travel the most miles out of any team in the National Arena League. They had to do it this season, and yet they still wound up 8-4. They still wound up as the number 1 seed in the playoffs, and they still took the chip. But if Commissioner Siegfried is watching or listening somehow, maybe I'll have him on in a couple. Maybe I'll have him on sometime after the season for no credentials required. But I have to ask, why can't we get a more regional rival? Yes, Carolina's going to be our main rival for a while. Jacksonville was our main rival, kinda. We kind of own them a little way. We give them one game, and we've won the rest of them since.
Literally gave it to them.
But we need something closer. I mean, Jersey was there last year. Great. Big whoop. Jersey was there. Not they're kaputs. We need something regional. We need a Philadelphia. We need a Baltimore. We need a Washington. I'll take Boston as a regional rival. Or Buffalo. We need something closer to Albany. We need a regional rival. And we need it at least not this expansion, but next expansion. We have to have a more regional rival because, dang it, I want to travel somewhere for an NAL game, and hopefully it's out of Jeff Levack's pocket. But I want to travel.
I don't pay for my travel.
But in all seriousness, I'm hoping, please, we need a regional rival. We need something closer to us. Hopefully, it's next round of expansion we'll have that rival.
Let's hope. I'm fingers crossed. Could still happen this year. Who knows?
And your mouth to God's ears. That's for sure.
I know. Just everybody played each other 3 times this year, and our 2 trips were to San Antonio, the farthest they could go, and Carolina's 2 were to us, the closest that they could be. So I'm just putting that out there. But hey, whatever.
Hey, back to back for the Empire. That's all.
That's right.
That's all I could say. All right, so we're going to wrap things up. I'm going to give our guys a moment to plug whatever you want to plug. Brian, I'm going to start with you. Where can people find you? Where can people find your podcasts?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Brian Cady. As if you've been watching on YouTube, you've been seeing right below me at Brian Cady, BrianCady. Podcast White Heat. It's a pro wrestling podcast. Usually comes out around every Monday. And no, Jeff, do not ask why it's White Heat. Don't ask that question.
Why is it white?
It's a wrestling term and phraseology. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, from the deep south.
And then my second podcast, Katie's Corner, right now is grab your torch and pitchforks. Katie's Corner is usually every Thursday it drops. Right now it's MLB centric until the end of the season. Then we'll kind of see where it goes from there.
President Levack, where can people find you?
Oh,
three rings Levack. 3 rings Levack.
That's right. Thank you. Just listen. The only thing you got to worry about is where you can find yourself during next season. $23 will reserve your season tickets for the 2023 season. Give us a call, 518-714-2200. AlbanyEmpireNAL.com. $23 to reserve your season tickets for the 2023 season.
Look at that. I got an ad, but I got no payment for it.
Shameless plug. Shameless
plug.
Shames for losers.
And last but not least, Captain Lou, where can people find you?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at The Real Captain Lou. You can also see my YouTube channel, the Captain Lou Sports Network. I do the Captain Lou Extravaganza podcast, which airs weekly now. It's going to be on Tuesday nights starting after Labor Day. And also I'm going to be hosting the ACHA Power Play on my network, where we cover the American Collegiate Hockey Association. Ooh. We have guest coaches, players, you name it. That's going to be every other week. Lots going on, and hope you can check us out. Again, that's the Captain Lou Sports Network on YouTube and at Real Captain Lou on Twitter.
All right. Excellent. You can find me personally here at Who Is Ryan MCC. You can also find all of our social media channels for No Credentials Required here. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook.com, YouTube, all that stuff down here. Got some things going in the works right now with a couple other podcasts. We're going to do a crossover. We're hoping to do a 19 Crimes tasting, sampling Snoop Dogg's wine. We're going to be sampling Snoop Dogg's wine with, hopefully we'll get together with a Craft Brewed Sports on that. But in the meantime, check us out, podcast, wherever you podcast. And you have been watching No Credentials Required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports, presented by Belly Up Sports in association with Guys Little Media. For all these guys here, I'm Ryan McCarthy. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next week.